Hi everyone, welcome back to our C++ tutorials for beginners. In today's video, we will be creating a C++ program to compare the areas of two triangles. Let's read the question together.
The area of a rectangle is the rectangle's length times its width. Design a program that asks for the length and width of two rectangles. The program should tell the user which rectangle has the greater area, or whether the areas are the same.
So, from the question, we will ask the user for the length and width of two rectangles, okay? And we will calculate their areas. After that, we will compare which rectangle has a greater area, or even if they have the same area, okay? So, we are going to follow about 5 steps to solve this question. Our first step, as we always do, is that we will declare our variables. Our second step is going to be that we will ask for the dimensions of the first rectangle. So we ask for the length and width of the first rectangle. Our third step will be that we will also ask for the dimensions of the second rectangle. And then our fourth step is that we are going to calculate areas for each of them. So area for the first rectangle and also the area for the second rectangle. After that, we will bring in something called if statements. Okay, so the if statements will help us compare which rectangle has a greater area or which rectangle is having a smaller area, or even if they are the same. And this will bring us to the end of our program. So let's start writing our code. Alright, so we will start by creating our variables. Okay, so let me write a comment here as create variables. Alright, I'm going to declare a double for it because a user might enter decimals. Okay, so double, I'm going to declare about 6 different variables. One for the length, the two lengths that we need, so length 1, and the second length will be length 2, because we need the dimensions for two different rectangles. Okay, yeah, length 2. Now the two width as well, so width 1 and then width 2, and now the areas, two areas, so area 1, area 2. Alright, okay. After this, you have to ask the user for the dimensions of the first rectangle. Okay, so I'll write a comment here as ask user for the dimensions of the first rectangle. Alright, so I'll see out, enter the length of the first rectangle. Now end my line. Alright, let me bring a semicolon here. Okay, so the user is supposed to input it. Okay, so you have to bring a C in here. So C in what? The length 1 that we've declared. The second step is that we need the width as well. Okay, so you can even copy this line and just make the changes here. You can copy these two lines and make the changes. So Control V and then enter the width. Instead of length, you bring a width here of the first rectangle. So see what? Width 1, not length 1. So this will be width 1. Alright, yes. Now, our second step is to ask for the dimensions of the second rectangle as well. So with that one too, I can copy all of this and make the changes that I have to make. Let me copy it here. So the comment will be that ask user for the dimension of, instead of the first, it's supposed to be the second rectangle. Okay, so second rectangle. So enter the length of the second rectangle instead of first here. You are supposed to see in what? Length 2, not length 1. So I'll clear the one here and bring 2. My next step is enter the width of the second rectangle, not first. So second here, and then seeing what? With 2, not with 1. Now we've been able to we've been able to ask the user for the dimensions of the two different rectangles that we are supposed to work on. Okay, so we have to now calculate the areas. Okay, so I'll write a comment here as calculate areas. Let me scroll up. So calculate the areas. To calculate for the areas, the formula was given in the question as length times width. Okay, so area 1 will be equal to length 1 times width 1, and then area 2 will be equal to length 2 times width 2. Alright. After the calculation, we have to compare the areas and also display the results we have. Okay, so let me write a comment here as compare the areas and display the results. Okay, so this is where my if statements are going to come. Alright, so you write if and then bring brackets here, and then write the condition there. So if what? Area 1, my area 1 is greater than, because you are comparing the one which is greater. Okay, so if area 1 is greater than area 2, a certain message should display. Okay, so you bring curly brackets here and then you see out something. See out what? Area 1 is greater than area 2. Okay, so the first rectangle has a greater area here. So the first rectangle has a greater area. Alright, and then I'll move outside the curly braces and come here and write my next if statement. So else if, now bring a condition here, if what? Area 2 is rather greater than area 1. Okay, so if area 2 is now greater than area 1, you have to see out a certain message. You see out what? The second rectangle has a greater area. So the second rectangle has a greater area. Now, if the first rectangle is also the same as the second rectangle, you are supposed to see out a certain message. Okay, because if one is not greater than the other, it means that they are the same. So this is where you bring your last else statements here. Bring your last else statements here. Just bring your curly braces. No condition will be attached, because as I said earlier, if one is not greater than the other, it means that they are the same. So else, you see out something. See out both rectangles has the same area. Alright, so yes, we are done with our code. The first thing that we did was to declare a variable. So our second step was that we asked for the length and width of the two different rectangles, and we calculated for the areas, and now we brought our if statement to make the comparison. Okay, let's run our code and see what we have. Alright, so we've been asked to enter the length of the first rectangle. Okay, so I'll enter 20.50, okay, for the length, and for the width I'll write 10.4. Now I've been asked to enter the length of the second rectangle. Okay, so that one too, let me make it 13 and let's say 5. So clearly you should know that the first rectangle is greater than the second rectangle. Okay, but let's run and see what you have. So this is our message here that the first rectangle has a greater area. So that's it. Let me make the dimensions the same too and see the message that is going to be displayed. Okay, so let me run again. The dimensions are going to be the same for this one to check something. So 20 here and let's say 5 here. The same thing here, 20 and then 5. And then the message here is that both rectangles has the same area because their dimensions were the same. Okay, yeah, so that's it for today. In this tutorial we learn how to create a simple C++ program to compare the areas of two rectangles based on their dimensions. You can try modifying the program to handle more rectangles, so let's say about 4 or 5 rectangles. You see the thing. And please, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up by liking it, subscribe to our channel for more C++ tutorials, and leave any suggestions or questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching.